infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funkin' up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funkin' up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live!
And we're back!
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm Wes, this guy is David, and between the two of us, we might know what time it is. So we're actually starting on time lately, which is kind of nice.
Let's give credit where credit's due. It's because of YouTube's new way of doing things. We have to schedule these very specifically. It has nothing to do with our punctuality.
Right, yeah, so they changed. It was either 7 or 7:15. So, yeah, I blame YouTube. But
yeah, I give credit to YouTube. I don't blame them. They just, they force us to be on time.
Oh, I blame
bastards.
Jerks. Jerks in their punctuality.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm still going through and adding people on here, so
there you go.
We'll see how it goes. Oh dear Lord. Close all. There we go.
Before we're done with the countdown, we had a question from YouTube from Fawaz123. Anybody going to help me out on semantic HTML? So you're in luck. Fawaz123. Today's show is all about semantic HTML. Everybody, fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Next week, we're going to tackle the wild and wonderful world of Boolean algebra.
Yes. Ooh, I'm excited for that.
Best as this week, and I can crush it next week. We're not doing any of that.
We're not doing any of that. No, you know what? We tried the algorithm show, and we saw how that. We were
even my wife would check out. We started doing that.
We were both falling asleep during the algorithm show, so we probably won't touch on HTML.
I gotta go. Yes, yeah, the HTML coding. That would be, yeah. You know what? That would overtake the algorithm show, I believe.
It might.
It would be. You know what? There might be 5 people out there like, oh yeah, that's cool. So we have a good friend, both of us. His name is Matt Andre.
Mm-hmm.
I want to wish him a happy birthday.
Hey.
His birthday was actually yesterday, but I wanted to hold it off over specifically because I wanted to tell him happy birthday on the show here today.
Yeah, Matt Andre, happy birthday, man. We need to have him on the show anyway to talk about his business. So he owns a car wrapping business, and apparently he does some.
Matthew Hamlin, Matt Andre's out there with you. Matt Hamlin's out there.
Matt's mixed up. Matt, that's Matt Hamlin. You're right. Matt Andre does not own his own business. However, he's a very hardworking guy. And Matt Andre, happy birthday. I apologize for getting the Mats mixed. Don't mix your Mats.
Don't mix your Mats, because if you mix your Mats, then you get mixed up, and it's just a marvelous mess.
That was completely my fault. But
that was a lot of M's in there.
A lot of M's. So, David, speaking of getting stuff mixed up, what are you drinking over there?
Beer. So as I was saying to you before the show, I said, man, I'm a beer drinker, and I've got this wonderful collection of bourbons over here because I live up here in Central New York now, and the beer scene's just not quite on the caliber that you have in your backyard still. And so I've been going more and more in the bourbons, and that's where the bulk of my drinking has been. And today, I said,
no,
I found some beer.
Nice.
So this is from a restaurant here in town called Tully's.
Okay.
Excuse me. For those of you guys that are in Central Ohio, it is a bit like the local Max and Irma's.
Well, I do miss Max and Irma's. That was a pretty great place.
Yeah. Max and Irma's was good before they completely screwed it up.
Well.
Then now, they're all gone now, right?
I thought there was still one left. I
know they were scheduled to close the very first one down in German Village. But I don't know whatever fully happened with them. But I know that that's one of the. So we've actually talked about this in the past in one of the other shows about when you get away from your core.
Yeah.
The damage you can do to your business. Ruby Tuesday did it.
Mm-hmm.
Applebee's did it. Luckily, Applebee's recovered some of it. But Ruby Tuesday, they'll never be where they. Well, I mean, it's not never's a long time, but they haven't recovered yet.
A lot of companies do that. They lose track of who their core demographic is. They don't keep track of that customer avatar, and look what happens. Look, we happen to know another restaurateur that we used to frequent their establishment, and we actually used to stream from there, and they're no longer with us because they lost track of their core customers.
Yeah, they lost their identity in the search for something else. They tried to be, and
I mean, how many times did you and I sit down with the owner and we're like, the stuff you have planned is great, just not for this place because it's not who comes here.
Now, let's say he took that idea. Let's say he took those ideas and he went down. Remember, the old Ruby Tuesday is literally same road. We used to hang at that Ruby Tuesday all the time with us and the old guys.
Right.
If he took those ideas to that location.
Right.
Different story, new identity, everything. But the place he was in, the identity was pretty set in stone. And
it was a smaller place with a bar as soon as you walk in. And look, that's just not the kind of place to take kids. It's not a family place.
Yeah, it was a pub. It was by far and large. Its primary function was a bar.
Right, which is
and with some pretty damn good food. I gotta tell you, man, their wings.
Even towards the end, the food was surprisingly good. Those pretzels.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. That pretzel, I will challenge. Everybody knows I love my Hofbrauhaus, and there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. And their pretzels are delicious. But those pretzels that the pint was kicking out,
yeah,
man,
I know it.
They would challenge. they would challenge him. There's no doubt about that. So tonight, this is actually, again, I said this is from a place called Tully's here. It's a little, it's a small chain, kind of local to Central New York here.
Okay, great.
And this is their Pilsner. When I poured it earlier, man, this thing sounds like you've poured a Sprite, and it's got all the bubbles and the carbonation that's in it. So that's typical with a really highly carbonated Pilsner. And then I was like, you know what? One of these may not be enough. So I went ahead and grabbed. I've got a growler in the refrigerator in the kitchen there that is just Sam Adams Boston Lager. So I've got a 64 ounce of Boston Lager in there too. So
you can't go wrong with that. That's great. So how
and we're supposed to get some snow, so I better be safe than sober, right?
But I like it. So how is the Pilsner, by the way, before we move on? Is it good?
Very, very light. So let's say you are not really a beer drinker.
Yeah.
If you can handle any, I mean, we talk about Hofbrauhaus being a beer that if you drink beer, you can drink it. You could probably drink this beer even if you weren't really a beer drinker. Mm-hmm. It's very light on the nose, so it doesn't give you a lot of that fermented flavor that you can get with certain beers.
Sure.
You don't pick that up. It's very light on the nose, and as far as the flavor profile goes, Pilsners are traditionally very, very light. It's a Hell's beer, so it's. You can see that. That is
really light. Yeah.
That is really. And the flavor goes along with it. It's a very light flavor.
Okay.
So I'll probably go down faster. I can't use my typical.
Let's stay away from those.
Can't use my typical response when I say something goes down real nice and easy. But it's a very smooth drinking beer. So what do you got over there?
Well, so as you know, I've been going through the BrewDog's advent calendar that my current my beautiful current wife so graciously gave me for Christmas. And there's only a few left. We're almost out.
Oh, darn.
I didn't actually get to the Cannon Blast last week, so I started with that, which is their American Pale Ale, which they brew specifically for the Columbus Blue Jackets hockey team we have here locally. So
you're drinking that right now, right?
Yes. In fact, I am almost done drinking that right now.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us about that one, because that is one of the IPAs or the pale ale beers that I actually like. It is at the absolute tip top of my hoppiness level. Yeah.
And look, it's an American pale ale. It's fairly hoppy, but it's not going to knock your teeth out, which is nice. Some of these IPAs you get, it's just it's just all hop.
Wait. Are you saying that the beer that's brewed for the hockey team won't knock your teeth out? Because something doesn't seem right about that math.
Well, look, you know how you get some IPAs, and it's like it's just a glass of hops. It's just not. Yeah. It's not even enjoyable. This is actually very enjoyable, very tasty. It's about the height of where I would go with hoppiness as well.
Yeah.
I'm not really an IPA guy. So after that, most of what's left.
But if you like IPAs, that's a beer. I spilled.
Already, David. Already, we're barely into the stream.
Yeah, that's what happens. That was the very first one. Give me 4 or 5 more of those, and I'll at least have a reason. But if you are a IPA drinker, if you are a hoppy beer drinker, wherever you are, because I know we're huge in Indonesia, and the UK, our viewership is like skyrocketing right now.
Through the roof.
What you got to do, get it imported or the black market, whatever you got to do, and try some of the Cannon Blast from BrewDog. It's really good. Absolutely.
So after that, I just have a couple of stouts left, and I'm done with the advent calendar. So one of the last ones they have here is their Jet Black Heart from BrewDog. It is their vanilla oatmeal nitro milk stout. That is a mouthful, and I plan on filling my mouth with this. I'm a huge fan of Jet Black Heart. And milk stouts are absolutely one of my favorites. So looking forward to that. After that, I've been saving this for last because this sounds ridiculous. This is called Nosh Pit, which is their chocolate cherry stout. And man, this is gonna be dessert. So I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's me. We're gonna need to take a moment when we get to that.
Yes.
So that we can get some good tasting notes. So I don't know for our viewers out there, if you guys have ever heard. Okay, my dog is barking at the daughter. Okay, everything is fine. Heard of an app? We use it quite a bit called Untapped.
Yes.
It is basically a social media platform for beer drinkers. and you can go to places and you can see it up on the screen, and you'll see the little yellow bottle icon. And I'll show it here on my phone here for a moment. There it is. I'll show it right there.
Untapped. Yes, look it up on your.
I have a hard time seeing it just because of the thing. You can see it there. It's got two. It's a yellow thing with two bottles crisscross on it. Download that app. Get on that app if you're a beer drinker, and just start networking with people, and you'll find all kinds of lovely beer. And send me a friend request, especially if you come across a beer called Snickle Fritz, because me, John Callender, and Kevin Klaus, the three of us, really put a hurting on that beer, and that beer put a hurting on us out in Indianapolis, and we haven't found it anywhere since.
It might be an Indiana beer.
It is a delicious beer, and all of us are looking forward to having it again and again and again. So if anybody out there finds it, let us know, because we'll make a special trip to go get it.
Yes, if you find the beer called Schnickel Fritz, let David know. But beyond that, join Untapped. I actually use that app specifically to keep track of what beers I've had. Because, after you've had every craft brewery, selection that you can think of, you forget them. You forget, did I like this?
Yeah.
Did I not like it? Have I tried that? I don't know. You can take a photo. You can rate it. You can leave comments on it. You can get updates whenever it's available again near you. It'll ping you and let you know. So, man, Untapped, that's a great app. And they gamified it. So, like when you drink a certain type of beer in a certain order, or you visit different locations checked in, it'll actually give you like a little badge. And
I got the badges and everything.
So it gamifies the whole thing, which makes drinking beer even more dangerous.
Yeah, I got a traveler badge because I do a lot of traveling. It's like, you tried 15 beers from 5 different places in 12 hours or something like that. So it gives a lot of them. And, I use it out on the road because when you're trying to create your own tasting notes, sometimes you're at a loss for words and know about it. For the people who, and I don't have my book here. It's a leather bound book, and it's for making notes for anything. And I don't have it for any specific reason right now. But cigar aficionados do it, beer drinkers, bourbon drinkers, and they all keep notes of it. But if you do it on this app, you don't have to come up with these adjectives yourself. There's a lot of canned stuff in there. Now you'll be able to put your own spin on it, but you don't have to wordsmith it yourself. It's got a really good starting place for you. I really recommend it. No, Untapped is not a sponsor of this video, but they really should be.
They should be. Give us a call, because if you don't, we're actually going to make one of our own, and then we're going to start promoting that. So be on the lookout.
And the 570 trillion people that tune in and watch this show every week, they listen to what we say.
Yeah, more people than actually live on planet Earth follow us. So.
Well, I had 500 trillion. I mean, come on now.
The known galaxy.
Yes. We're huge. Alpha Centauri, we're crushing it. Just crushing it.
Not quite on Beta Centauri, but Alpha. The Alpha's lowest.
Well, we're Alphas ourselves, so,
It's true. I'm a Sigma. I'm a Sigma male. All right.
Alrighty. Now that we've wandered down that rat hole. Oh, is this news? Wait a minute.
Speaking of rat holes, there's news.
Well, Robert Iger, where did I put my book? I usually keep the Robert Iger Right of Lifetime literally right there. I don't know where I put the book. For those of you guys who follow me on the Book of Faces anyway, you guys know that I was working on the red SG guitar back here. Excuse me, this past weekend, and my desk was just it was just the guitar was out here. I had a soldering iron and drills and things. I had to put new tuning knobs and pegs. I mean, just the whole place was wiped out. So it hasn't completely been returned to its former glory as my office desk. Speaking of the office desk timeshare that we were talking about last week.
Right.
But anyway, I usually keep a book from Robert Iger on the desk, and I had bookmark here it is. Former Disney CEO Bob Iger warns against NFTs. So I think we have seen. We talk about them. The guys, Paul, Rand Paul, Iron Paul, Steve Paul, whatever the Paul boys.
One of the Pauls, some Paul,
somebody out there.
Hogan.
These people that are making, we'll say, internet monies. And hold on a second. I had the car keys, and the boy's taking the daughter out to basketball. Anyway, these guys that are making these money and in this NFT world, the gist of it is these people are going to lose, and they're going to lose big. It's not going to be pleasant.
Well, look,
money laundering can only go on so long before you get caught.
well, and there are a couple sides of this. I mean, you and I have been saying since the beginning, NFTs are not just a front in a lot of cases for money laundering. You see that a lot in a lot of cases. But there's only so much saturation of a market where until you can't sell JPEGs of low pixel rocks anymore. I mean, there's only so many you can sell before people say, yeah, that's stupid. And that's the problem. The problem is you have so many high profile celebrities making so much money on NFTs right now. Because what influencer or high profile celebrity, you even see big companies starting to get into this, they realize, oh wait, I can put out these NFTs, say they're limited edition, rake in all this money for literally just having somebody on Fiverr make a bunch of JPEGs for them.
Yep.
And that's about it. And in the meantime, the person who buys it, not only do they not own the artwork itself, because here's the funny thing about NFTs, you don't own the artwork. The artist still owns the artwork, owns the rights to the artwork. If they want to go and publish that in a magazine or put it up in a museum, you don't see a pretty penny of that ever. On top of that, you don't even own a copy of the image. You can go and right-click it, but so can I. What you own is a small piece of code that lives in the Ethereum blockchain, and within that piece of code is a link to a server or a hard drive someplace.
Yeah.
And you own that piece of code that contains the link. You don't even technically own the link, and you definitely don't own the server or hard drive. Now, here's what actually happens in a lot of cases. The person who put that image on that server or that hard drive, they still have access to it too. And guess what? In a lot of cases, what happens is, you'll hear this term a lot, something called a rug pull. A rug pull. Now, what that is when they sell you something, an NFT, they'll actually go back in and they will remove the image that was uploaded, put in something completely different, and if they have a sense of humor, they'll put in a picture of an oriental rug, and that's where the name got the name rug pull from. And,
or a dumb sucker.
And this actually happens all the time. It's super common. So when you buy an NFT, don't fool yourself into thinking you own that artwork, because you absolutely do not.
Yeah, you don't. So there is another piece of news. Now, that's as far as I want to go. I don't want to bring Butters out here and have Butters explain the values of NFTs. But we talked about this guy on the show. Vishal Garg, I think his name.
Yes. Yeah.
The CEO of Better.com, who fired, 400? How many? I got it over here. 400 plus or minus. Around 900 employees via a Zoom call, right?
A Zoom. And it was so cringy. It was a cringe-worthy call. We played it here on one of our shows.
Yeah, we did. And the whole time he's sitting there going, well, I hurt so bad because I've only had to do this one other time, and I feel so bad, and you guys don't know how bad I felt. I mean, the guy was just a tool.
It was terrible.
All right? He's taken a leave of absence.
He did for about 2 weeks.
From Better.com.
Yeah.
Upon his return, I'm going to read this headline straight out of here because, let's see. Vishal Garg's return as CEO shakes Better.com. Many resign.
Yeah, I wonder why.
There is literally a jump ship. The guy came back, everybody's like, yeah, I'm gone. And I'll tell you what, I'd have done the same thing. I'd have left. Well, of course, I was waiting for him to come back. I'd have been gone anyway. I'd probably been in the 900, got fired, and didn't make a difference.
Well, so there's also apparently a lot of background that this guy has stirred up for himself also with his previous business partner. So apparently, he and a previous business partner had a different company, and this is all hearsay, and I could dig up the details and get the exact details for you. But basically, what happened is he took it's part of his company, so he just reallocated funding from one company to start better.com. And so he didn't take it, he didn't steal it. Don't sue me, you terrible person. But he reallocated these funds. And apparently he's involved in a huge lawsuit with his ex-business partner over this whole thing.
Sue us all you want. Finding 12 people that's going to side with you, I'll take the odds on that. Because I will be there for jury selection.
But during this whole thing, some of the email interactions between he and his business partner came out, and he said some things, just awful things, like he wanted to like choke his partner to death, and like he's gonna kill him, and like just
oh yes. I'm sorry until you started talking about the emails that came out about it.
Yeah,
I didn't remember, but yeah, I read through that stuff, and I wouldn't work for this guy.
There's no chance on earth. How does anybody? And here's the funny thing: after this guy goes, lays off 900 people on a Zoom call the whole time he's talking about himself, and then immediately afterward, all the people who were remaining with the company stayed on the Zoom call, the same Zoom call. He stayed on the Zoom call and continued talking to the existing people, and because everybody who got fired got booted, of course. And he goes on to talk about how all the cutbacks they've had to make are the employees' faults for not selling enough, not working hard enough, and they just don't care about the company enough. How could you possibly, no matter how well you're being paid, stay with a company that acts like that and treats employees like that? I have no idea.
A lot of people say, Dave, what you don't understand is...
Now, David, what you don't understand...
Now, David, what you don't understand
I'm speaking down to you right now. What you don't understand...
because you got a little brain. I have left the company. I was with the company for 30 days. I gave them 30 days. Mm-hmm. Within the first week, I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks into it, I'm like, this place is starting to feel shady.
Yeah.
3 weeks into it, something happened. On the fourth week, literally day 30, in day 30, I go in, I pack my stuff up, I'm leaving. They're like, hey, we want to talk to you about it. I'm like, I'm out, I'm done. I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. But I don't want my name. And I literally said this to the guy, to Boss Man 7, whatever the hell his name was. I don't work for people like you. Right. And I don't want my name associated with people like you. And I took my stuff. I didn't have another job. Mm-hmm. There was no backup. All I knew was that if my name became associated or I became known as being part of this group, I would have a upward battle from that day forward.
You're absolutely.
And I did absolutely nothing to it. My brand that was me, wanted nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It would have been damaging to my brand.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought this up. We actually should do a show on personal brand, because especially with social media the way it is today, and how when you're going to find a new job, let's say you want to go work for a company, what's one of the first places they're going to look for you? They're going to look for you on social media to see your personal brand, to see how you represent yourself, because chances are how you represent yourself online is how you're going to represent their company. So we should actually do a whole show on that. That's a good idea.
I do it. Well, I don't hire people anymore, but when I was hiring and doing the interview stuff, they drop a resume off. Yeah. Boom. First thing I'm doing. First thing I'll do is I'll read through the resume. All right, is this just a waste of my time? Is this somebody just trying to fill a quota to get their unemployment, or is this somebody actually applying? All right, they're actually applying. They're actually interested. Mm-hmm. I'll go to Facebook, Instabook. Even look at YouTube, and LinkedIn. The last one I look at is LinkedIn.
That's always my first. That's funny.
The last one I look at is LinkedIn, because in LinkedIn, typically they're a different person than what they are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and Twitch, and Instagram, and whatever other ones that are out there.
Whatever other grams there are. The TikTok.
Yeah, whatever grams. TikTok. Oh, I didn't have TikTok back then. Back in my day, we didn't have TikTok. No.
We just had clocks.
So yeah. Clock. Yeah, they had a clock. So that's what I mean. That's why I always went to LinkedIn last, was because the personalities and the stuff that you get on the standard personal level, I guess, in social media was always different. Well, almost always different than what you get on LinkedIn. And it would be the same with me, because I post a lot of stuff. I do a ton of stuff in Facebook, mainly because I'm sitting at this desk. When I'm here, I'm sitting at this desk and just click. There's something dings on my phone that's literally sits on a cradle right there.
Yeah.
Pick it up, boop, put it back down, and keep right on trucking. And it's literally nothing out of my day to do something there. Ha ha ha! Look at this piece of apple pie somebody gave me today.
Well, what and again, this really makes me sound old, but this is a totally true statement. What a lot of young people today don't seem to realize is what you put online is online forever. Online forever.
So you will see, and just as this is a fact finding. Yeah. So literally, you'll see it all the time. A post that was quickly deleted from Instagram or Twitter or Twitcher or whatever it is. Well, guess what? They literally have it on there.
Well,
which means I deleted it, but it's out there.
Well, there are actually services that archive the entire internet. So, which is not a small thing to do if you've ever been on the internet. But there's one that a lot of people use called the Wayback Machine, where you can actually go on the Wayback Machine site and see websites from way back. So it's an apt name. But I just opened the chocolate cherry stout from Brewdog. So
holy crap, not that quick. We haven't even got to a topic yet.
Well, look, I'm thirsty. Okay, give me a break.
Prost, a little bit of dead air. Ready?
Look at the size of that head. Look at the size of that head on that. That is
all right.
This is a beautiful beer.
For those of you who don't know, we host a bit of a brouhaha after almost every show. And if you want to be invited to it, just drop a comment over here and let us know, and we will send you a link, a Skype link, and you can come on. It's not broadcast, it's not recorded, it's anything. It's literally offline. And if you guys come in tonight, I'll tell you the story that puts me in a very bad light about
the head
that exact thing. About the head on a beer. Literally the head on a beer. And it's quite funny. So now you've had it. Give us your tasting notes, sir.
It's not my favorite one from the Advent calendar. It's pretty good. You can really pick up the cherries on the front end. It's the sweetness from the cherries and the bitterness from the stout don't quite mix in the way that I want. I wish they'd bring the cherry down from here just a little bit and pump up the chocolate just a little bit more. So it's good, but I only need one. However, that being said, ooh, this was my favorite. And I'm glad I kept the can from this. This is their Headless Honcho, which is their horchata stout, which was amazing. If you can find this, I highly recommend it. This might be the best beer I've ever had from Brewdog. And this is something, because I love their Elvis juice.
Yeah, man, that's saying something now. So the people who don't know Elvis juice, and especially don't know our fascination with Elvis juice, that is a beer that just neither one of us should actually like.
Right, because
both of us absolutely freaking love it. It's
a citrus IPA.
Phenomenally delicious beer. It's refreshing. I could drink it right now here out in the frozen freaking tundra, or I could drink it poolside in the pool. I think I actually have, and happy as clams.
Absolutely. And George said Elvis juice is pretty good. And you're right, George. Look, Elvis juice is amazing. It's and the funny thing, one of the reasons it's my favorite is not just because it's a good beer, but I actually have good memories associated with it. So for my birthday a couple of years ago, my current wife got us a room at the Brewdog Hotel. And in your room, they actually have a beer on tap. Like, they have tap in your room, which is awesome. And that's the beer we had on tap. So I have good memories associated with it, but that's my favorite. But again, if you can find Headless Honcho, their horchata stout, man, it's awesome.
Yes, it's good. You know what? I've literally just been going through. I think I've invited and brought more people on tonight than ever because I just keep going on here. I don't know what's going on. I'm just keep clicking buttons. Sorry, I'm gonna get off that now and just focus on the show now that we're 35 minutes into it.
35. It's a good time to say hello. It takes us a while to say hello.
It's a good time to say hello. And last week I made a point out that I had the White Album up here.
Yeah.
And I had my Beatles shelf with the White Album that I had to go get the Black Album from Metallica so that I could have both the White Album and the Black Album.
Yeah.
So I got the shelf installed today. I went and got the Black Album a couple days ago, which shockingly I didn't have it already. But so that I've got the Metallica. So and I've got the little Corvette logo thing that's sitting back here in the background.
Yeah, that looks good.
I'll add a little bit more to the Metallica collection here soon, but because 3 of the 4 guitars right behind me, or three of the 5 guitars behind me are all Metallica guitars, so they still dominate my wall.
No, that is cool. That's a good look. I like it.
Yeah. All right. So we have an agenda, which we've been sitting here so long, the iPad shut down because
we do actually have an agenda tonight.
Yeah, we have the agenda. All right, so there we go. Episode 82, I think, this week, right?
82, the big number 82. So the last 2 weeks, we focused on the best e-com marketing tips and tactics to really be successful in 2022. And they're all essential. You need to do every one of those things. If you missed last week and the week before, go back and watch those 2 episodes. Those have step-by-step instructions on how to make your business successful in 2022. You need to do those things. But
I say go back to episode 1, binge watch the entire 81 shows,
and then watch this one, number 8.
And then watch this one.
But what we're doing today is we're actually tying it together. We're gonna say, the things that we covered last week are great, but really how do they tie in to all the things we've been speaking about for the last 81 episodes? So that's what we're going to do today. And it's broken down pretty simply. And the funny thing is when you hear these things, you're like, oh, yeah, of course, that makes perfect sense. But actually tying it together with how this fits into this puzzle piece and this fits in over here is going to be really essential. So before I start, I got to have a little sip here. I got to wet the whistle, as it were.
Wetting the whistle. So, we were talking before the show.
Yeah.
And I was explaining, some of the things that I've been looking into because of my Elon Musk level hatred for MBAs. and I'm not a fan of them. I think they have their place, but I don't think anybody with an MBA should be in charge of anything.
Well,
they're not the people. They should be in charge of their desk.
I understand the general purpose. However, I do feel like too many people get the MBA, and they feel like they've achieved enough to where they're entitled to higher level things, but they don't have the experience to really excel. In not in all cases, but in some cases, and that's how you have certain people who get stuck in middle management for an entire career.
Yeah, and there are always exceptions to the rule, always, and that's why we have rules, so we can have exceptions. So
rules are meant to be broken.
But we were talking about it, and we're going to be putting in together. Somewhere in our calendar, because we've got quite a bit of stuff that we're still working on getting the details for the carpet cleaning. What's the guy's name out of Kentucky there?
Stevie Evans from
Stevie Evans. Yes.
Big Bentley's
Stevie Evans from Big Bentley's Pet Supply. We've got the Gentlemanly Way, and we got another one coming. Oh, we're still catching up on your on the Underdog Plus or the Underdog Bones. So we've already got a lot of stuff in the hopper. But we're going to be taking a look at some of those MBA tactics, the emotional intelligence world, and business psychology, and kind of melding those into some of them. Because back in the day, what I said to you earlier was, back in the day, we just called that common sense.
Right.
And now we've got it broken up into the MBA world, the efficiency, the streamlining, the business management of it, and then we've got the emotional intelligence portion of it to say, oh, well, these are human beings. I can't treat them like garbage and extract every blood, sweat, and tear out of them. Imagine that.
Well, unless you want to be CEO of Better.com.
Yeah. You know what? You and the Shaw Guard will get along swimmingly. So yeah. But we're going to start weaving some of that stuff into it. But One of the things I think that we're leading off with is the analytics, right?
Well, so I
We're
started.
talking
So
analytics.
there's a few things listed here. The first thing I listed is analytics because this is really focusing on moving forward and improving upon what you did last year. We're still, it's the very beginning of February. We've had enough time to sort of get over the hump of the holiday season, and we're really back to business right now. We're really in that long lapse of time, that long span of time between holiday and holiday, right? And this is a good time to really just buckle down, get your business where it needs to be, and be fully prepared for the year. So that's why I started with analytics, assuming you can go back and look at what you did last year and improve upon that. So that's why I started with analytics here. But if you have
I lost it. Oh, there you go. There you are.
No, go ahead. But no, I was.
No.
It was a dramatic. It was a pregnant pause.
Dramatic pause. Wait,
Oh.
whenever you gotta give me a sign, I'll be like, dun dun dun.
Well, I'll just randomly just do this. And
Yes,
now move.
I like it.
And like just assume, just say that I.
Everybody's clicking the buttons. Everybody's clicking the buttons. Oh, lovely. All right. So what's up on our analytics? Because we've actually talked about this in the past a little bit.
Yeah.
Where we keep track of certain analytics. And Facebook, I gotta tell you, they do a pretty damn good job.
A lot of social media does. Facebook, their analytics are surprisingly good. And no surprise, of course, Instagram, since they're owned by Meta also, which, say what you want about the name, they should have kept it Facebook. Meta, they own Facebook and Instagram and all those. Instagram's analytics are really good as well. You're going to run into problems with things like Twitter, but look, say what you want. YouTube analytics are great as well. So, because, of course, Google.
Sorry, I'm about to mute myself over here.
What's going on?
You said Twitter. You said say what you want. I was like, you can't. Yeah, here's that political line. And man, I went right up against it.
Let's right there. Keep it right.
We're gonna keep it along that line.
Keep the line like right here.
Oh.
Exactly. So, but most social media platforms actually have really, really good analytics. And you can use all of those to your advantage, even analytics for your website. So if you have a website, whether you build it yourself or have somebody else build it for you, you can dig in and get really good metrics from your website. So good metrics are going to be the backbone of everything you do for success. Because if you can't track how you're doing, you can't plan for the future on how to improve upon what you're currently doing. It's a necessity. You need analytics, and we should do another show on analytics just to keep people abreast of what's available and what's possible. Don't get all excited about the word abreast. I just meant to keep people updated with the current information. So, so the first thing you need to do is take a look at the goals that you set for yourself last year, because that's going to give you an idea of, did you hit the KPIs that you set for yourself? A KPI is a key predictive indicator. Key performance indicator. Sorry, I sound like an amateur. Key performance indicator, which is your goals. You want to hit X number of sales.
You use KPI. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, are we counting that as a business buzzword? Because if it's a business buzzword, we got to drink.
Business buzzword. Drink.
All right.
Shots.
Hold on, I'm out. I got to refill. So
you can drink to catch up, but key performance.
So, yeah. Trust me, I never fall behind when it comes to drinking, especially beer. So for those of you guys who don't know, and my new coworkers, they learned this about me, and we have a lot of fun with it now. We do it with water, but it's still a fun thing to do. We set in meetings, and anytime somebody uses a business buzzword, we take a drink. Now, I used to do it at conferences and stuff, and with booze, but now we do it with water.
That gets real quick.
So yeah, we stay very well hydrated during some of our meetings, and so there'll be the meeting, and I've got the two 32-inch screens right here, and so I'll have the meeting running on one of them, my email on half of another, and my calendar on another one, just kind of keeping stuff going, and then the whole time I'll have my handy dandy iPhone, which I'm not a fan of, but over here, and we'll be texting, back and forth like, oh crap, that's 3 drinks already. He even got done, man. He ain't even said hello yet. He's got 3 drinks on us. So we always have to go get that. And then we'll go to when we go out and we meet in conference places. Like I was in Fort Lauderdale, and I think it was in November or something like that. And we're down there. You'll see us go over to the little water area, and I'll pick up like 4 bottles of water and take to my table. And some people are looking over. Some people are looking over like, gee, Chris, man, he drinks a lot of water. And I do drink a lot of water. But and then the people who know about what I'm doing, they'll get up and go get their water and sit back down. So the whole time, and then the rule is the coup de grace business buzzword is synergy.
Synergy.
Right.
We don't use that word nearly enough. But I'm guessing, David, after these conferences, there's a huge line for the restroom afterward.
Oh yes, man, we are begging for those breaks. Actually, I don't even wait. I just I get up. I don't care who's talking. I just go because yes, you all caused this by using business buzzwords that don't mean right. You know what grinds my gears?
Exactly.
The word collateral. Right now, the word collateral is. I have people all the time say, well, can we get some collateral on that? And I'm sitting over in the corner being, the hillbilly bumpkin that I am, like, what the hell do you mean collateral? They mean like handouts.
Well,
and stuff.
it's any physical,
handouts.
like pamphlets or booklets or papers or just tell them
you mean
it's the 21st
handout?
Tell them it's the 21st century. You have a website. Tell them to download a PDF.
Yeah. Can you give me collateral on that PDF?
I'll give you some collateral. Damn, I'm careful.
Yeah, I'm saying right here. Exactly. Collateral is something in lieu of, but not. I don't know.
Collateral.
See, we're almost switch over to water.
I know about collateral. So I'll say key performance indicators rather than KPIs. Drink. Because
I gotta catch up.
Your key performance indicators are going to be things like, well, they're going to be associated with the goals that you set for yourself last year. They're going to be your sales, your clicks, your impressions, whatever your key performance indicators, whatever your key metrics are that you want to reach for specific goals. Now, you're also going to look at things like behaviors and preferences that are going to gauge the success of your demographic as well. So maybe the performance of your KPIs, Drink, didn't hit.
Oh shit, I'm like 4 KPIs behind here. Because
you're looking at the wrong demographic. So these are all things that you need to look at. And this is why I started with analytics, because it's very, very important to see how you did last year, to see how you can improve. And that's also going to tell you how you can improve things as well. Maybe not only are you hitting the wrong demographics, maybe your entire mission statement is wrong for your business. Maybe the demographic that you're speaking to would rather be adhering to a different mission, would rather see a company that is dealing with these issues rather than these. And you should really analyze the why of why your brand is doing what they do. Mm-hmm. So to get very Simon Sinek on you, what's your why? What is your why? And if you don't know who I'm talking about, Google Simon Sinek, watch some videos. Very inspirational, very flowery, doesn't mean anything. But Simon, if you want to come on our show, I'd love to have you on. You're amazing.
Because of our show, my son starts. He'll come. It's like, hey, I was watching this Gary V show, Gary V YouTube.
I love Gary V, man. Gary Vaynerchuk. I love Gary Vaynerchuk. Now,
yeah, I know.
The problem that I currently have with Gary Vaynerchuk is he is hitting his audience hard to buy his NFTs. Hard, which is why
so I can't watch Gary. He's the new Butters.
He is. Oh, dude, he's totally Butters. He is all Butters out, man. He actually has his own line of NFTs that he is making a mint off of. And that's the reason I stopped watching his content for the most part, is like, Gary, man, I love your stuff, but what are you doing? Anyway, Gary, if you want to come on, I know you watch our show, feel free to pop on anytime. We'll have you on.
Well, we'll have to jump on the schedule because I know between him and Elon, they have open invitations. So
I would
we'll work it out. We'll work it out.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Just give us a call. We'll figure it out.
With us. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen.
Be fine.
So,
speaking, I'm sorry. So last week I did not interrupt West nearly enough. West,
You're making right. It's fine. We're good.
West after the show, he's like, "Well, you didn't start drinking early enough."
You fix that,
and that's why. So today I made sure that shit wasn't going to happen. So I've been telling West, where there's a Dave, there's a way, in a lot of things. And the big thing that I have failed on is getting shipping up to Boston by the
Dropkick Murphys.
Dropkick Murphys.
Get a phone call?
Being allowed to do this. We have movement on that.
Really? No way.
We have movement on that. So I kept trying to go through their publicist side.
Okay.
I actually had to go and talk to their manager. Okay.
You spoke to their manager. You spoke to their manager.
Yeah. So I'm communicating with him. And unfortunately, the family that owns half of the rights, so shipping up to Boston, and I might actually have it saved here, of the guy who actually wrote it. Nope, not handy. And I'm not going to take time to Google it right now. But he wrote tons of material, tons and tons of material. Yeah. And the family is very reticent and reluctant to release it for anybody's use. So they own 50% of the entirety of the song, not just the lyrics. So because I was going to go ahead and try to say, all right, I know that the lyrics were written by XYZ.
Yeah.
And his family. I knew that before even reaching out to them. I knew about it. So they're not going to do it. So I have officially, completely, and utterly failed at getting that.
Good news. Where's the good news?
There is absolutely no way, because I knew it beforehand, and I was hoping that because they had the song, that we could get it through them.
All right. Look, if there is a song from the Dropkick Murphys we can use.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'll take a look at the catalog. There are actually tons of songs that are awesome, but I want something that's got that really, that just the minute you hear it, you're like, bring it. Like you want to get into a bare knuckle fist fight with somebody, and that's what shipping up to Boston did to me.
Right.
Like, come on.
Because so everybody watching and listening, just so you know, David, behind the scenes, when he has one of these bat crap crazy ideas, he always says, "No, Wes, you don't understand. Where there's Dave, there's a way." And
there's Dave, there's a way.
I always roll my eyes and say, "You're crazy." And the deal was, if he could pull off getting us this song to use even once on our podcast, then I would stop rolling my eyes and say, "David, look, you pulled this off. Where there's a Dave, there's a way. Apparently, it's true." And I'm still waiting on a chance to say that you're right. If you can, get us.
There has been many times where I've been proven right. This one time I have failed, and I openly admit it. I have shortcoming on this one. We can't, because the song is packaged, we can't even use the music from it.
You loser.
I am.
Well, I'll tell you. So we're live on the internet. This is to the world. Look, if you can pull off getting us rights to use one Dropkick Murphys song, regardless of how obscure, and you get in writing, or at least an email, that we have the rights to use this song, I will stop rolling my eyes when you say "Where there's a Dave, there's a way."
Well, I don't want to just pick a random one. I want to listen through the catalog again, and because again, they've got a lot of great music, and I love that they bring so much energy.
They do.
I mean,
in concert a couple years ago,
so much energy.
Yeah.
So. But that's it. So that's, we were talking about, you were going into some, successes and failures. So I had to share a failure with everybody there. But I won't stop. But before I go back to their manager and say, hey, and I got his name in the emails and stuff there. Before I say, hey, Mr. Manager, dude, what about this song here? Can we work out something with this one?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that what we pick is not. I don't want just some obscure song. I want something that brings energy and kicks it out to everybody to get pumped up about. So, all right, continuing on after my failure.
Yeah, so a minute ago, we were actually talking about goals. And Shannon Black from Real Life Outdoors Shannon Black on YouTube came on, and he said, about to hit a goal on the channel. I assume he's talking about his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Shannon, Shannon, if you're still watching, what was your goal? We'd love to hear what your goal was and where you're at now.
Well, because I follow them, I follow it pretty closely. I think they're like 4 or 5 at last count that I had from hitting 1,500 subscribers on his YouTube channel.
That's awesome.
So I would say everybody watching this, go over to the Real Life Outdoors with Shannon Black on YouTube and hit that subscribe button, because if you're the 1500th subscriber to the channel, you will receive a free Real Life Outdoors hoodie.
Yeah. Hey, Shannon, whether you like it or not, you're now beholden to that promise. So Shannon Black, out of his own pocket.
I'm understand what he's already done.
Oh, he said yeah.
He said.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so Shannon will give you a so I should go subscribe now is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I follow this stuff. So I've got the Jeremy Sire shirt. I follow Jeremy. I like it. And everybody, Greg from How to Drink, that's another channel that, and you follow these guys, you get involved with them and you try to support them. And if I have a friend of mine who, after, if they start a YouTube channel or a podcast, a video, I'm going to watch and listen.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that's not in my wheelhouse, I'm on there. So I had friends I think they were somewhere in Kentucky who had a food truck I think they ended up getting rid of it, but they had a food truck for a while, and they didn't post a single thing that I didn't get in, like, share, kick it out, do all the things I knew that needed to be done to help draw in people. Because if I can't do that,
well, and you know what? And we should do a show on this too. That goes back to customer and brand loyalty. So, and it's not just because you're friends with those people ahead of time. There are brands right now that I don't know the owners, and I'll never know the owners, but I love their brand, so I'm loyal, and I'll pick up everything they put out. And look, even before you and I met James Watt of BrewDog, even before we sat down and had drinks with him. Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
Just met, because where there's a Dave, there's a way.
I was a fan of the brand, so I picked up everything they did, which is why we got those tickets to the AGM, which is why we were sitting front and center of the AGM, about 5 feet away from James Watt, and which is why you did the crazy-ass thing of going to sit down at his table afterward and called me over, and I'm like, we're going to get kicked out of here. But we didn't. Did we get kicked out? We did not get kicked out.
I might love one of the founders of the BrewDog.
Which was pretty amazing. That was pretty epic. I got to.
It was a great time.
So
I'd like to see him again, just kind of hang with him without having to be after an AGM or something like that. Just like, hey, dude, come out and join us. Instead of doing it there, come over to Hofbrau, join us over there, and
he's not
party.
Drinking his own beer, and he's trying somebody else's beer.
The guy likes beer.
You know what we should do?
He's gonna be okay with it. He'll be treated like a king because he'll be with me over Hofbrau.
You know what we should do? We should arrange a private round table, right? Where we get like James Watt, we'll get Martin Dickey, the other BrewDog guy. Martin Dickey, by the way, is a master cicerone, one of 18 in the entire world.
19.
Number 19 in the entire world. So we'll get both the BrewDog guys. We'll get now look, we'll get Nick from BrewDog also. He runs their Nano Dog selection.
Nano Dog, yeah.
We'll get Jason from the Hofbrau House. Now, Jason, he's going to be the first to say, I don't belong with these guys, but Jason's also ridiculously humble, and he does belong with those guys at the same table. Yeah. So we're going to get Jason. We're going to get Gavin from North High Brewery. We're going to get all these guys at one table, no cameras, just sitting around a round table, shooting the breeze. And if they'll allow cameras, that'd be awesome. But can you imagine that gathering?
That'd be great. Could you imagine the conversation? Imagine the conversation. I'd love it.
I wouldn't even speak. I would just be like drooling the entire time.
We're just going to have to say, all right, we're definitely going over the hour this week because this kind of happened to me the other night. I was over in Connecticut in New Haven I stayed on Yale's campus, but we were in North Haven, which is literally just north of New Haven. I went to a cigar lounge because, you've seen it lately. If anybody follows me on the Book of Faces, these places are great for meeting some of the absolute coolest people you're ever going to come across. And some of them you'll see, and you can fill it out. There's a couple people you'll see in there like they're there just to chill, kick back. They don't want to have conversations. They're tucked in a corner doing their stuff. Everybody else in the room is now your new best friend. And so I ended up, I posted some pictures. I've got some people who are brewing what do you call it? Brewing wine, making wine, fermenting wine,
Fermenting.
whatever the
You ferment the, so you smash, you mash the grapes, then you ferment the wine. It's the whole thing. You don't brew wine, you ferment the wine.
do you wine? I don't know, whatever it is. They make wine, and I'm not a wine drinker. I've been very clear on that.
Wine,
but
David.
What's that?
Wine not.
Why not? Oh, that's terrible pun. You should be putting the penitentiary for
dad goatee. I can totally pull it off.
So right now, so you guys don't know this, but right now, deep down inside, West is itching with that dad goatee that he's got going on.
I hate it. It's killing.
To go turn off the lights around the house.
Well, that's true. I can sense when somebody gets even within 5 feet of the thermostat.
Yeah.
But no, it's so first of all, I look like Joe Dirt. But secondly, so for people who don't have facial hair, mostly the ladies, because most men can grow facial hair. But for the ladies, when you have like a cat or a dog in the house and they sleep on your pillow and then you go lay down on the pillow and you pick your face up in the morning and you have like fur stuck to your face and it's like bothering you because it's in your mouth and it's all over the place. Imagine that, only it's everywhere and you can't get rid of it. It's torture. It's the worst.
I trimmed mine the other day, and I lose the argument with the trimmer from time to time. All right, so I don't know why, but I take the thing and I run the dial all the way out, and I rinse off the thing, and I take it all the way back, and I rinse it again and get it all cleaned up before I put it back on the cradle. And I always forget what number it's set at. So I trimmed my beard far too short the other day.
One thing, David. You gotta remember.
Yeah. I should really just take a grease pen and write like 7.5 or 8 or whatever it is on the shower wall so that I know. I got, the glass that goes around the shower and everything. And, just write in a grease pen in there so that it's just there. And when I get it, like, what was that? Oh, it's 7.5 or 8. Okay. All right. I can go with that. All right. And do the thing.
It looks good though. I actually like the kind of stubbly look a little bit. So so in case you guys didn't notice and hadn't noticed my awesome Joe Dirt facial hair before, I can't grow a lot of facial hair outside of very specific regions, right? So I was on Instagram and I saw an ad and I was actually tempted. This thing looks like a medieval torture device. So it's like imagine a paint roller, a small paint roller with tiny little spikes and needles sticking out all over the place. I'm not exaggerating. I wish I had saved this ad so I could show you guys. And the thing is you roll your face with all these little needles. And I guess it's supposed to like poke holes in your skin all over the place. And then you get this like cream that you rub into it. And somehow magically, this is supposed to make the hair grow wherever these little tiny needles poked. And I'm thinking to myself, no, I'm tempted. I'm not that tempted. Because it was also like $80 for this torture device. And imagine rolling this thing on your face and you're like bleeding from every pore on your face. And then you have to go to work the next day and you're like, I fell.
Little piece of toilet paper all over the place.
Tiny little squares of toilet paper, yeah. Everywhere. Just covered like a pair of tiny little squares of toilet paper.
So for those of you guys who don't have your own lawns, which, all the guys watching this show, absolutely, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't have a beard, but I have a lawn.
It's literally aerating your lawn. You go out there, you poke all the holes on it, you break the things on it. It loosens the soil so that the grass roots can grow more easily.
Sure.
And you don't necessarily want to sweep up the plugs that come up out of it because you got microorganisms that live in that. It's really good for keeping it up, and it just works back in. And you go. Now, your first time you can do it, you can actually take some of those away because then you loosen it up a little bit.
Well, they look like poop.
Then you overseed, and that's how you grow. And that's honestly, as you're telling me about this medieval torture device, I'm thinking somebody watched the landscaper and said, that's a good idea.
That's essentially the principle. And honestly, I'm not sure aerating your face is how you grow hair.
That is not how hair follicles work.
But this was a real ad. If I can find this ad, I'm going to save it. And I'm going to show you guys.
Actually, a number of months ago, if you remember, we went through the
most hilarious advertising fails. And
it was the company that had the poop analytics.
Yeah.
The other lady that is in, I don't even know what happened with the trial, but she was in a trial.
Oh, the
for-
trial. I think the trial's still going on. The
uh,
I can't remember the name now.
I literally was just looking through it the other day, and I don't remember it off
So
the top
yeah,
of my head.
I need to do some more. You know what? We should do a follow up. We're gonna do a follow up on this. We're gonna find out what happened at the trial of what's her face?
I don't know, Synergy Lady.
She lowered her voice like this to make herself sound more serious. And there was, you're right, there was the poop analytics company that could like gauge all of your health problems by a poop sample. And apparently the two founders, a married couple, like fled. They were on the run from the law. We're gonna follow up on this and find out where all these people are. That's gonna be a good show.
Take your money and run.
Come on, take your poop and run.
He called the shit poop.
Oh, I called out their shit.
That was a Billy Madison reference for those of you guys who didn't get that.
For all of you who aren't up on your Adam Sandler references, which, look, knowing our audience, you're all up on your Adam Sandler references. Who am I talking about?
They got the Adam Sandler down. They're with it.
Oh, my current wife can quote every line from Billy Madison. Believe me, I've heard them all.
It is my current wife's favorite as well.
They have a lot in common. That's why we're friends.
That's what it is.
So I have a feeling we're actually not going to get to the rest of our main topic tonight, as both
I think
here.
we got time for one. I think we got time for one more section of it.
All right.
You know what? Let me take a quick look here. Let me take a quick look. No, we. All right.
We're only about a third of the way through.
I get that. We're talking a lot about analytics and and updated goals, right? We went through that, right?
Analytics, updated goals. We didn't get to understanding your audience, understanding your niche, setting up your goals, and strategizing, followed by execution, which was
all right. So I'm actually going to jump around. I'm going to jump around a little bit because we have hammered this more times than I could possibly count.
Understanding your audience, David. Tell us about understanding your audience.
Actually, I was going to jump to execute.
Ooh, get on to execution. Execution.
Because, make
it happen.
For the guys out there right now that I know that are doing the Generally Way, Jiminy Christmas, I mean, we're talking episode 1 or 2 of the Underdog Journey, where we talked about, it literally may have been episode 1, where we talked about if you wait until you're ready, it won't happen.
Start before you're ready. We talked about this to a good extent last week. Start before you're ready.
Yeah, start before you're ready. You're like, hey, I'm almost ready. Well, great. Now it's time to go. Not wait till you're ready. It is go.
You know what?
The moment you think you're ready, you're going to find an excuse. Go for it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but you're exactly right, though. By the time you're ready, you've missed the boat. If people waited until they were financially ready to have kids, nobody'd ever have kids. If people waited until they were emotionally ready to get married, they'd never get married. Start before you're ready, and you will grow into the role. Start before you're ready. If you think you're almost ready, you should have started last week. It's like a New Year's resolution. Don't wait. Don't be like, you know what, January 1st. Right now, I'm going to pig out and be lazy as a pig. I don't know. I'm out of analogies. Like a cat in a room full of cat things. If you say I'm going to wait until next week to start, guess what? You're doing it wrong. Don't start next week. Get up off your butt. Start right now. Start before you're ready. That's the key.
Start ready. It doesn't matter. So we're talking about the guys from the Generally Way right now, and I'm here to talk about this schedule, working this thing and doing this. Like, if it's a 5-minute cast the first time just to introduce the idea, do it. Don't wait for it. You're going to stumble your way through it. Just do it.
Yeah.
You got to get on it. I'm really excited because I've seen some of the stuff that these guys are doing and talking about doing, and I think it's going to be one of the channels I watch absolutely all the time.
So it's going to be a YouTube channel called The Gentlemanly Way. They have a website. It's not up and live yet, but The Gentlemanly Way. It sounds cool. I like the concept. It's all about just guy stuff.
Yeah.
Doing guy stuff.
Yeah. Manly shit.
And I presume they're going to be speaking about this stuff while they're like sitting down having a cigar, drinking a bourbon.
Bourbon, beer. I mean, they've already invited a beer aficionado on.
Right.
Myself.
Yeah, well,
So we're going to talk about beers and how to break them down, what you're going to like, what you're not going to like, how to take a look at it and say, you know what, that might be a good beer, but it might be a terrible. This would be a shitty porter if they had this in a can and said this was a porter or a coconut milk stout. You know what? That's terrible. So you got to know what you're drinking and some stuff behind it. So some of the things they're going to get into are going to be awesome to watch and awesome to be part of. It's just things you're going to want to get into. Guys, girls, all of us are. I mean, I think it's going to be stuff that everybody's going to want to watch.
I'm looking forward to it. It sounds cool.
Me too. I can't wait. I can't wait. So
You have to tell those guys, start now. And here's the look. Here's the thing. Even if they think they're not ready, I'm going to show you guys this. And this is something I was saving for a future episode. I'm going to show you guys this. This is great.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
If you call right now and use your credit card to buy the Underdog NFT.
So I'm gonna show you guys this. I am actually going to show this on a future episode because this is actually pretty awesome. I'm going to show you guys the very first time Joe Rogan was on the live stream.
Oh.
That's not it.
All right.
That's me. Hang on. That's not.
That's the background. Does that say make me hard in the back? Yeah. Yeah.
Press pause.
On this?
No, on
the
the
one on the
yeah,
channel. Right.
and then update your internet tonight,
Update my internet.
or go to the faster one.
Yeah, faster, right?
You're gonna get addicted to. Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah, and Greg, I'm gonna reach out to Greg from HTD How to Drink on YouTube or YouTube and Twitch. HTD Greg, and I'm gonna ask him because I think he actually took down his first one, but I'm gonna tell him what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get it back so that we can take a look at it.
Yeah. And what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do though?
We need stuff to make me hard, right?
Ask Joe Rogan. I don't know. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna analyze where these guys were on the very first episode compared to where they are now. Not what they make, but just the production quality. Because that's the thing. A lot of people don't want to start unless they have the perfect camera, the perfect microphone, the perfect lighting situation, the perfect background. But you know what? Look where Joe Rogan was. Look where you and I were on our first episode. You know.
Oh, I've got to admit some stupidness of my own right now.
Uh-oh.
I was literally like, look at the camera I use and pick up the camera and then point it back to where my camera was.
Look at my camera. Oh, wait, that's just a wall.
That's so right there's where my camera sets. So there's Wes, there's the other monitor, and there's that. But right in this area is this camera. So what a dumbass.
That's hilarious.
Oh man. That was too funny to pass up sharing with you guys. Sorry about that.
That's pretty funny, I gotta admit.
I had to share that. I was just like, oh, here, because I literally just used, it's a 4K Logitech webcam here for my show, or for my side of it. At West, you have a mirrorless Sony 4K.
So I have a Sony 6400, A6400, which is a pretty nice camera. It's a decent camera. But you don't need it. All you need, look, you have a 4K. You have a 4K webcam, and 4K. Look, nothing. I mean, yeah, things stream in 4K, but you don't need 4K when you're streaming. You don't. I mean, I have my camera right now set to stream at 1080p, and that's all you. And that's not even close to 4K. So a good webcam can totally get you by. You know what has a great camera and a great camera for streaming? This thing right here, your phone.
Yeah, they're saying.
One of the best cameras you can buy on the market. You can stream out the wazoo with this. And if you have unlimited data, guess what? You can stream regardless of where you are. So we're gonna have to get back to the main topic of this episode next week. We'll actually cover all the stuff next week. We'll try not to have too many tangents. But we should also have a second episode on the importance of a live stream for your business. Because I don't care what your business or service is, you need to have a live stream. And we will go through the pros and cons of that.
And if you want to have somebody come and randomly live stream from your place, just give us a call. We travel.
We do.
I've got the camera back up again. It's sitting all right there. There's the soundboard, microphones, lighting equipment, headphones, everything just right there. We have a good time. We enjoy it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun show on its own because look, every business needs to have a live stream.
There we go.
Looking great, Dave.
Yeah, I agree. I really believe that. I agree with you on that 100%.
Even if a simple
live stream,
even if it's just like a quarterly AMA or a monthly AMA, and AMA stands for Ask Me Anything, where you can go online and your fans or customers come on and just ask you random stuff, and you react to it.
So I'm going to drink to that.
And you know what? And you react to it as if you're a human being. You don't wait for HR to give you talking points. You say, hey, guess what? I'm going to shoot the breeze with people who buy my product. And that's exactly what we do.
On that note there about, HR, legal, all that fun stuff. So some of you guys know who I work for. They made some decisions and done some stuff and pissed off a lot of my customers. And these guys are calling me nonstop. And the next week, we get this email list that says, here are some talking bullet points for you guys to go over. When people ask this question, you give them this response. They ask this question, you give them this response. They say this, you say that. I read through the entirety of the list, multiple pages, and said, I'm not saying a single mother flipping thing on this list because that's just going to piss them off more because it's a canned response. It felt like a canned response. It didn't feel like that interaction. So, it felt like we're covering our legal ass and that's it.
Well, but that is it. So here's the thing. Everybody watching and listening, David's point of view is strictly his, not necessarily those of your broadcasting partner. But I agree with both of them. I think canned responses are terrible. They read as incredibly disingenuous. However, from a legal perspective, I do understand why certain things need to be said in a certain way. So I wouldn't frown upon reading a company talking point, but possibly rewording it in my own words so it didn't seem so disingenuous.
And that's exactly the way I do it.
Right.
But I've seen it. I've seen it. I've had other people's customers email me this and their response, and it literally was a copy and paste from the sheet. And I'm like, well, this is actually what that means. And they're like, well, gee, Christmas, I understand that. And it sucks. It doesn't suck any less, but I'm not as pissed off about it.
Because how often
really get down to the human touch.
And that's it. How often have you been on the line with a customer service rep from whatever company, and you can tell they're reading from a script, and you can tell they're reading from a script, and you're like, just speak to me like a human. Don't read from a script. Just talk to me, and then I'll be happy. Well, hang on.
Turn on the
live studio audience comes to us with a cat.
Oh, hey. Holy crap!
She's harassing our cat right now, and the cat loves it clearly. And my son is laughing derisively. Hey, so Locke, show us what you drew today in school.
All right, what do we got? Okay, wait. Before you show it, is it a spider? Yep.
It's a spider.
It's big.
It's a big spider. He's adding this spider to his spider army.
I should have more of
You
those.
can't turn around anywhere in the house without Lachlan having one of his army spiders staring you in 8 of their beady little eyes.
It's true, and he knows all the anatomy of the arachnids, and he is in...
The thorax and the cephalothorax.
It's true, he knows.
Dude. All right, look here. Both of you guys, both of you little kiddos, I will pay for sports for you.
You're gonna pay. Actually, my son. What? Hey, Locke. What did you just join?
You want to play football?
What? Hey, no. What did you just join at school?
What class?
What class did you just have? The one you had yesterday.
After school.
Kung Fu.
He joined Kung Fu. My son is in Kung Fu.
Are you gonna be like Kung Fu Panda? Can I call you Po?
Po, the panda from Kung Fu. Panda?
Kung Fu Panda.
Master Love.
Master, Kung Fu Master. What? Hey, can you keep
Master Shifu.
Gentle.
gentle with the cat? That cat's head will pop right off. I'm telling you. She doesn't believe me. All right, good night, guys.
Leave her down here so she can eat dinner.
Good night, kids.
Oh, what are you doing? Oh, don't forget your spider. Okay.
What,
Yeah.
David?
Peace.
You know what? The funny thing is that they chase and harass that cat so much, but the cat comes right back. We try and help the
I was saying,
and the cat comes back.
yeah, I was sitting there looking at the cat. I'm like, dude, that cat was like.
The cat comes back after we memorize her.
After they memorize the cat, she comes back.
Yeah, she comes back for more memorizing.
No, harassing,
Harassing.
terrorizing. I'm not sure we teach them terrorizing yet.
Terrorizing, memorizing, you know.
Close enough.
That's HTML semantics.
Exactly. Next week's episode, Semantic HTML. Join us for that laugh riot.
I think I stopped my programming on QBasic before it got into all this stuff. I mean, talking old school QBasic.
Yeah.
So I had one of the Ataris you had to plug up to your computer.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
your television, and it didn't have any RAM at all, which it was ROM, so it's just read-only memory.
It was only read-only. Yep.
You had to type the entirety of the code because there was no hard drive or storage device that you could plug it in to play a game. So if I wanted to play Pac-Man, I had an hour and a half of coding
Yeah.
to play Pac-Man.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you got good enough at it, you could change the colors and do some different stuff, change the music and things. And it was quite fun once you actually understood what you're doing.
Yeah.
But to start, dude, I got an hour and a half before I can play.
Oh yeah. So when I was in college, I was actually part of my degree is in computer animation, 3D animation, and for fun because apparently I'm a masochist. I took a class in VRML, virtual reality motion language, and throughout the entire class, we had to write keystroke by keystroke how to make a ball bounce in code. And that was essentially the class. And you know what? It went on to it. The funny thing is, if you've taken any kind of
Three-dimensional vectoring programming. Gee, Merry Christmas.
yeah, but imagine writing vectors in 4 dimensions with code.
So what was the 4th dimension?
Time. Time is the 4th dimension. Time is always the 4th dimension. Well, hey, actually, you know what? Technically, if you want to get really technical, time is the 5th.
Only nerds and science geeks are going to get that question right, okay?
So technically, it could have been 5 dimensions because there was also the observance of time when you do the playback, but I didn't actually code the playback. That's a whole thing. Physics. It's fun.
I was getting ready to delve into a completely different way of looking at that, but and how it can be time, but a different time. It's a second layer of time. So we're not going to go into that because we will never. We'll. You know what? We can just jump to Doctor Who at this point.
Well, okay. So you have your vector, which is a single point. Well, so a vector is a single point which has no width or depth or height. That is 1 dimension. 2 dimensions is a line which has width but no depth and no height. That's 2 dimensions. 3 dimensions is width, depth, and height. That is the dimension that we live in. Now, time, there are going to be some physics geeks out there who disagree with me, and I will refute this every day of the week. Time is not time as we observe it. Time is time as a whole. The 4th dimension is time as a whole, where you look at all of time and space in a singular as if I'm looking in, as if, hang on.
I'm the nerd that will argue with you.
As if-
I say time is linear.
Well, hang on, time is linear, but that's not until the fifth dimension. So the fourth dimension is looking at time as a whole, as if you're looking into an aquarium, right? Now, the fifth dimension is when you're actually looking at linear time taking place over that string. That's the fifth dimension.
Oh, if we're getting into freaking M theory, it's a whole different world now.
Oh, we're not an M theory. We're
You just said you're looking at string, so if we're going to go to string theory / M theory, it's a whole different. It's a whole different ballgame.
No.
This is what happens when you get
Not get me
nerd.
started on string theory. Don't get me started. We're not dealing with string theory. String theory is BS. I'm not dealing with string theory here.
In what universe? All of them.
Gravitons and graviolis are not a thing.
Oh man! Wait, yes they are.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Gravitons are theoretical. Graviolis are from the Futurama. One of the Futurama.
Hey! I like my gravitolis with cheese and a little bit of breading on them, and then a little bit of baked, and you get a touch of red sauce, and then some white sauce, some Alfredo, and a little bit of a pesto.
Ooh, you know, I'm not a pesto guy, but you know what? We are pretty far off topic right now.
You think we're talking about Futurama and scientific pasta?
Scientific pasta. That's our next podcast we're doing.
We're getting a
scientific pasta with Dave and West. Today we're going to talk about graviolis. And do you like red sauce or pesto?
Dude, I like them both. Okay, you don't get this fat by accident, so we're going to talk about food. I can go into depth on that too.
Well, so I like a touch of pesto. The problem is most people who do pesto do way too much pesto.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you like nuts mixed with, okay.
I like a touch of pesto.
It goes a long way. It does.
It's
So
a
all you
strong
out there that
flavor.
are over and abusing the power of the pesto, knock it off. Just knock it off. A little bit goes a long way. You don't need much. It really does.
We have totally off the topic now.
So this is the topic. It's supposed to be an entertaining show. And that was again we've actually said this many times, is both of us have sat through those painful, and hopefully it kind of goes into, so where do you, because you're not in school anymore, you're not doing this, you didn't go to school for theoretical physics or anything along those lines, talking about quarks and atoms and M theory, and neither did I, but I am a subscriber to, and this doesn't go into the physics part of it, because that's the MIT series that I'm signed up for. So you can actually go and sign up to do classes with MIT for free. And I've been doing that for a long time.
Chuckleheads, they don't know anything. MIT, pshaw. I went to art school, my friend. I can teach you a thing or two.
I didn't go to any of them. I literally go to the ones I can go to for free and then learn the things I want to learn. But I'm also a subscriber over at the New England Journal of Medicine, and the NFPA released a thing today about how you protect things based upon packaging and contents, the palate, and all these things. And I actually put it on Facebook and was like, yes, these are the things I find interesting. So, I don't know what point it was, but the light switch went on and I was like, I want to learn everything. And except being a hippie. Fuck that.
So if you're talking to Joe Rogan, he would say ayahuasca. That's how you learn everything. A little bit of psychedelic mushrooms will teach you a lot of stuff, apparently.
So I don't know if anybody's catching it. This is for a specific viewer. I told him I would learn the sign language for this because we made a joke about it. So there we go. In case they're watching, that's Rocky and Bullwinkle that you're going there.
I went to what? So you. I'm aging myself.
I'm calling you Natasha from now on. All right, so we've got some pretty good content to cover next week, and I'm happy about that. I always like having these things split up and carrying stuff from one show to another. And I remember the other business that we're supposed to be working on. It's not you, it's me. I just broke up with Wes. It's not you, it's me. No, it's the Simply Life Safety, simplylifesafety.com. the website set up on that. I'm still working out the details to get in and actually do some training videos to get that subscription service going. So that was the other one I was talking about earlier when I was talking about the underbones, the underdog bones, and other. Go ahead, Wes.
No, I was going to say, as far as Simply Life Safety goes, if you can still get approval to film from a previous location that we used to film from,
Yeah.
we can actually create a whole series on how to create online courses, because I've done this, and I've been trying to talk you into doing this for years. So I'm super excited we're going to do this finally. But online courses.
Well, I think we're going to be doing it from that location. I've got to get
Great.
the final approval.
Good.
But we should be doing it from that location. So I'll be making some trips in, and they'll be shot over the weekend. So we'll be making. I'll probably do it over the course of probably a couple months, but it'll be 3 or 4 trips in, and it'll be morning to however late we can go in this location, so that we can
That's
fully get this thing in.
cool. Looking forward to it.
It should be fun. But there's a lot of script writing. As much as I shoot from the hip on this show, that one has to be, it's very specific, very. And again, the simplylifesafety.com, you guys are welcome to go visit it. I don't think there's really anything over there right now. But it's for the life safety world.
Yeah.
So, that's good. So I do need to make a correction, because I talked about the Real Life Outdoors with Shannon Black earlier and their giveaway. So they are going to do a drawing, not at the 1500.
Yeah.
They're going to draw after the 1500th.
But and you know what? So and a lot of YouTubers do that. So what they'll do is they'll actually download a list of all their subscribers, and they'll assign each one a number. They'll use a random number generator that you can just Google random number generator. You can type in your high and your low numbers. It'll spin it and come up with a random number within that range, and that's who wins the prize. That's actually very fair. So go to YouTube and youtube.com and look for Real Life Outdoors Shannon.
Granddad.
Look for Real Life Outdoors Shannon Black, and say what you want about Shannon. His videos are actually really entertaining. You'd never know it from speaking to the man, but he's actually very entertaining. No, Shannon's awesome. I love Shannon.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see them all here in a bit on the after show. We'll be sending out invites. If you guys want to be invited in here, definitely hit us up, and we'll shoot you over a link for a Skype call in. Again, it doesn't get recorded, doesn't get broadcast, doesn't get anywhere. We used to do the Underdog After Dark, which we will probably dust off here
we'll
sometime
bring back
soon.
After Dark sometime, but right now we're doing the private thing where you just shoot the breeze. Nothing's recorded. Nothing's online. Say
Nothing. Nothing's off limits.
Want.
So. You want to come on and tell racy jokes, come on and tell racy jokes. We'll see you there.
There once was a man in Nantucket, and I've been West. This guy's been David. And we'll see you next time.
Until then.
Out.
the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red, and the brown. Now keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray. Time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the food 'cause the funk was good. Funky in the city, funky up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the food 'cause the funk was good. It was good in the city, funky up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood.